The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Happy New Year, Guam. Main studio guest, of course, Governor of Guam, Governor Eddie Baza Calvo. Governor, Happy New Year again to you.
Happy New Year to you and to all of K-Way.
Governor, 2016 in a couple days, okay? Now, I know you've been a strong advocate on wanting to get the people of Guam to decide its political destiny. You have pushed this date of 2017 and trying to aggressively get a vote to happen in 2017. Where are we at with that? I know there's a lawsuit that's taking its own course, but Governor Eddie Baza Calvo's, again, insight and progress on getting the vote done.
Yeah. First of all, you know, if I had it my way, I wish we had it back in 2014, and we had issues of funding. What we've done in, again, the bill that we presented to the legislature, and there has been, I want to thank the legislature, increase in funding for commission decolonization. I talked to our Assistant Secretary of Interior, Esther Cayena, and she's also agreeable towards the federal government sending some money over. So I know the commission had been working on a grant package so that the federal government could also help fund this education program for us. You know, I'm a firm believer in what America all stands for. It's about liberty. It's about freedom. And you know, one of the things that I find so interesting in this election year campaign for the president, there's been so much focus by presidential candidates in the Republican side to Guam and other territories because we have a vote in the delegations that go to the conventions. I had an opportunity to talk to Senator Cruz about a month ago, and he has a great ground game in regards to what are the major issues affecting the people of Guam. And his organization has also gone to the other territories as well. Now you're seeing it manifested by how Senator Cruz has risen in the polls. And that's because we have skin in the game. We have a vote. And I'm sure the Democrats have the same opportunity in our local Democratic Party.
Through their delegation.
Through their delegation to the Democratic Convention. Unfortunately, that's all we've got. And that's why it's just so important, and I believe for the people of Guam, that the status quo is unacceptable. For those stateside folks that are either visiting Guam or live in Guam, and you know, and for any period of time, I consider un-American. How can you live in America and yet you're not a participant in representative democracy? Which is a revolutionary thought that came out of the United States, and it is fighting worldwide, this revolutionary thought of freedom and the individual's ability to make decisions on things that count in their life. So I'm excited about it. I'm going to be working with the legislature and the commission to do everything that we can to move this process forward.
Now, that being said, you know, a few weeks ago, there were 3 members of the Congress on FSM that sent a resolution to the FSM president and wanting to terminate the Compact Free Association earlier than 2013 and make it 2018. Now, whether that's going to get any root, and of course they're going to have to go to the people to be able to do that. But how can we piggyback on that in regards to, because of course, I'm sure the federal government is going to rush to talk to them as well, that, you know, hey, I mean, if you're moving to do this, how can we piggyback on that to address the issues like the under reimbursements of, again, that contract that they got into with the FSM?
As you've noticed in every statement and every policy move that we've made our administration, one thing it's important about this society called Guam is that we're homogeneous in terms of everyone is in harmony. Homogeneous in that aspect, but not homogeneous in terms of the ethnicities and the cultures here. Guam has always has been beautiful as a tapestry for many different cultures, and we're a welcoming society. So I'm never pointing the fingers at my brothers and sisters from Micronesia for whatever reasons wanted to move to Guam. That being said, there are certain responsibilities that the federal government had to Guam in regards to this movement of in-migration to people here from Micronesia, and you know what the impacts would be and what their responsibilities would be in terms of the federal government to deal with those impacts, or to deal with issues such as folks that maybe come here and are not productive and maybe commit crimes. You know, there's the issue on deportation. We've seen that most recently in the news, that the federal government has not complied even in that area, as well as the reimbursements. At the same time, you're seeing the same issue from the FSM government, where they believe the United States has not treated them fairly, and is disappointed with that, and because of that is wishing to push forward the ending of these compacts. I believe they're going to negotiate for what they believe is in the best interest of the FSM government. That being said, we've never been a party to those. It's national government to national government. I think it's an opportunity for us, both from the standpoint of the people of Guam, to go to the federal government, to reiterate what our issues are, and also at the same time, I would like to see good relations between the FSM and the United States, because we're a part of the United States and we're surrounded by FSM. So we'd also like to look at some of the issues that they have and bring that forward to the federal government. At the same time, I'll be going to Mises next year. In fact, the next couple of months, Micronesian Chief Executive Summit. I'll be discussing some of the issues that Guam has in relations with the federal government. At the same time, I'll be there to talk to them some of the issues that we have, not only with our brothers and sisters in the other nation states around the Pacific, such as the FSM, but also, if they ask my 2 cents worth, some of the issues between FSM and the United States as well. So I think it's vitally important. Right now, there is so much dynamism occurring in the Asia-Pacific region. The United States is repivoting to this part of the world, and a lot of it has to do with some of the global political and economic issues between the great nations. And at the same time, Guam and the Micronesian islands occupy such a large percentage of the Blue Pacific that is a part in the middle of all this. So with that, it's important for the views of a territory such as Guam and our aspirations, and nation states such as FSM, to be heard by the powers that be. And I think this is an opportunity with all this focus going on in the Asia-Pacific region. So the United States has been putting so much emphasis in Japan, South Korea, China, Taiwan, Southeast Asia, Australia. It's important they look also in their house, such as Guam, and in their backyard, which is the FSM, which has had this close and intimate, unique relationship with the United States.
Now, Governor, 2016 in a couple of days, of course, 2016, we're going to have a new president of the United States. You're the titular head of the party, Republican Party of Guam, right? You're going to be traveling to the convention. I'm sure you're going to be raising your hand and voting. Now, you know, we've got a lot of candidates, a lot of able candidates, some more controversial than others. This is a different election. This is definitely a different election. It's moving the Republican Party to areas of discomfort to try and discuss issues. When you look at the lineup there, but you know, again, Guam plays a very important part in our vote for the delegate. But when you look at there, who do you think amongst the top might advance?
Well, it's interesting to see, as you look at the polling of these candidates for the presidency from the Republican side, and then you look at those that have made the effort to contact Guam, they're pretty much closely aligned. I mentioned Senator Ted Cruz. Also,
I had his representative on my show.
Ben Carson had a representative here. Donald Trump has had representatives here and discussing some of our issues. And also Senator Rubio. Quite coincidentally, or not so coincidentally, these are the folks that are also showing up in the polls and where their relative popularity is in terms of polling Republicans. So there is some sort of congruency between those that have contacted representatives of the Republican Party in Guam and those that are showing a very high popularity standing at this point. So it's important we bring out our views to every one of them.
That's right.
And we see how they move forward in their platforms when it comes to their presidencies, and how it coincides and harmonizes with the issues that are so important to the people.
And this is the one aspect, Governor, where the Democrats and the Republicans here in Guam should bring the same concerns to their nominees, because it is in one sense the party may differ, but we have the same one Guam approach in this for whoever again excels to the finals, right?
Oh, exactly.
I got to take a quick break and pay some bills, Governor. You know how that is, right? Be right back.